I'm Leslie.
And I'm Shelley.
And we're Sisters in Ebert. Welcome back for another Movie Monday.
Woohoo!
If you couldn't tell from our last week's episode, this week's episode is Ghostbusters II, the 1989 follow-up to our 1984 classic, Ghostbusters. The barnyard animals are
There's
thrilled.
something mooing!
It's Ghostbusters!
Oh, we need
It's
to call them.
Who are you going to call?
I forget the number. It's like JK.
Yeah, which is like 555.
Yeah.
So, this is another movie that we watched by choice. And it was
Loved
something.
it.
Yeah, we loved it. We were very excited to see this movie as well. So, and you said you like this one better.
I like this one better than the first one. I always did as we were kids.
Really?
Yeah, and
My son does too, my 6-year-old. He
Yeah.
likes this one. He always asks for the one with the baby.
yeah, that's the selling point, I think.
Yeah.
And especially, like, I was a little girl. Like, I liked babies.
Yeah.
They're cute. So,
Yeah.
that's what I enjoy.
I like the first one better, but I still love the second
And
one
I think
too.
also because this one was written more for kids, like in mind.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I liked it better
That's
too
true.
as a kid.
We have our eye on a cat. This is already our second take because...
We had to start over because someone in their bulbous body shook the tripod.
Some black and white furred creature.
We're looking at you, Zorro. I know you see me.
So it's 5 years later. We open to pink slime coming from a crack in the sidewalk and typical aggressive New York City resident conversations. We arrive at Dana's new apartment with her and baby Oscar coming home as she talks to the super about a repair that she needs to have done. The carriage goes dashing away and into traffic.
But it's like starting and stopping too.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like a runaway carriage.
And it's a flat sidewalk. Like,
yes.
It's not like...
This is something moving.
Yeah.
It's controlling it
Yeah.
unseen.
Exactly. So the next scene is Ecto 1 with sirens on and the theme song for what we think is a call, but is really Stance and Zeddemore performing at a birthday party. As it is revealed, the Ghostbusters went out of business.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
their only shtick now is going to kids' birthday parties
yeah.
and performing.
The
like
kids are
clowns.
not impressed. They want He-Man! 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 Yeah, they're not impressed, and the guys leave reminiscing about how great it used to be.
Mhm.
Now, fun fact, the one boy in that scene is Ivan Reitman's son,
Oh.
who goes on to direct the new Ghostbusters movie. Yeah,
Full
circle. The one who's taunting him. Like, my dad says, you guys are, you know.
My dad, the director, says.
Dana goes to find Egon and to say what happened to her baby, where Egon is working on human behavior experiment. It's revealed that Dana and Venkman now have a strained relationship.
They dated for a bit,
Yeah.
and then
Dana married and divorced since we last saw everyone. Not Venkman, somebody else.
Yes.
Venkman now is on his own talk show, The World of the Psychic, discussing end of the world predictions. And they were all like, they would have happened by now. Like,
Well, except the one. He says New Year's Eve
okay.
of this year.
Oh, 2024 and
No,
2025.
of
this
that year.
Right, but I mean by now in our
Oh, yeah.
our calendar now, they would have all happened already. That's what I mean.
But it would have happened if not for the Ghostbusters.
Oh, you're right. I didn't make that connection. Yeah, that would have happened.
But yeah, Venkman's like, you just wrote a book about this. It's just coming out. Didn't you think about sales and stuff?
He's like, I want people to know about
Yeah.
it.
So, I don't know.
Hey-oh.
Oh, gosh, the toys. The Ecto
The
one.
Ecto 1, Zorro.
Zorro.
You little sweetheart, you.
He winks.
Okay. So we see the mayor backstage, or Venkman sees the mayor backstage and tries to discuss New York City never paying the Ghostbusters for saving the city in 1984, but he kind of blows him off. Dana is working to help restore paintings with a creepy supervisor, Yannick.
Is that his name?
Yannick? Yeah.
I thought it was Janish.
Janish. Yes, Janish. Sorry. I couldn't read my writing. Janish. And I had to get the subtitles on to spell that thing.
Yeah, starts with a J.
Janish,
Spoiler.
yeah. So we cut to Ray's occult books, where Egon, Ray, and Venkman arrives to pick up a book. Ray won't say the old friend they're helping until Peter forces him. It's like they're discussing
they're
about
like, we're just helping somebody out.
yeah,
with
an old friend. Yeah. And so all three go to Dana's apartment, decorated similarly to her old apartment, pink and floral, to examine the baby. Oscar is 8 months old, and Ray and Egon do testing, which they only ever performed on a chimp.
Yeah.
Dana and Venkman never married due to his fear of commitment. Egon reveals his parents didn't believe in toys. He had part of a slinky once, but he straightened it. Egon and Ray check outside, and testing reveals paranormal factors under the street. Egon begins jackhammering after dark, finding an old shaft to an empty space.
Yeah. I love that scene so much because, like, he's obviously destroying the street, and
he's like dressed like a
construction worker. And cops come up and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And then he calls a Venkman to be like the boss. He's like, "Don't worry, we're trying to get our work done. You guys are always busting our job."
Yeah. Why are you you're supposed to be drilling over there?
Why did you stop drilling?
Yeah, who told you to stop drilling? And then like, it's across the street. The power lines are across the street. You told me.
It's across
Why are you drilling here? It's across the street.
They do a really good job of covering themselves for a while.
Yeah.
And then they get found out.
Yeah. So we cut to Janosch. Am I saying it right?
I don't think so.
Janish?
I don't know.
Okay.
He has a thick accent.
Janish. Yeah, Janish.
Janish.
I'm not going to remember that. I'm going to keep saying Janosch.
You should have wrote it phonetically.
I'm going to keep saying Janosch. Like, I think that's how Dana kind of says it.
Is it?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Cut to Janish at the museum, who is confronted after dark by a figure in painting, who reveals himself to be Vigo Scourge of Carpathia.
The scariest painting
the
ever.
Sorrow of Moldavia. And is Janosch is a willing follower of Vigo who requests a child and zaps Janosch into submission. Janosch. I'm going to just say it however.
I don't care. I don't know that's right.
So Ray is lowered into the shaft in the street by other guys and finds old pneumatic transit tunnel. That's what I couldn't read the third one. Full of slime. So it's just like a river of slime.
River of
pink slime.
Glowing slime. Which looks scary.
Yeah, it looks gross.
Yeah.
Peter and Egon are busted by the cops as Ray asks to be pulled back up, and slime starts grabbing for him because they're like fighting with the cops, and Ray's like, guys. So it causes all power to go out all over Manhattan. Mm-hmm. And Janosch stops by Dana's apartment late at night and is turned away, but reveals glowing eyes when he turns.
He's possessed.
He wants to see the baby at like midnight, and I'm like,
dude,
you're her boss, dude.
Yeah, this is creepy.
Yeah.
You're already hitting on her an odd amount of times.
She can call HR.
Yeah, she should call HR. Though I feel like she's like a volunteer. She just comes and goes.
I think she's very part-time. I think because she said like she wants to, when her baby gets bigger, she wants to go back to the orchestra where she was working.
That's true.
I think this is just like a gig to get her through until she can have more childcare or whatever.
Makes sense.
The Ghostbusters are in court, and Lewis got his law degree in night school.
Lewis is their lawyer.
Yes,
now.
but is representing the Ghostbusters as lawyer, as they are blamed for causing the blackout and were also banned from performing paranormal services. The court is going very badly. A sample of slime evidence starts bubbling as judge's aggression mounts. The Ghostbusters are sentenced to $28,000 in fines each, or $25,000 in fines each.
Yeah.
And 18 months in Rikers Island for causing a blackout and doing paranormal.
I just love Lewis's whole spiel. I forget what he even said.
But it was so ridiculous. It was like, these are good guys.
I don't think they should be blamed for anything, and that's all.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, just sits down, and they're like, that was so unhelpful.
Yeah. They just all look at him.
Yeah.
So the yelling finally causes the slime to explode, and the Scoleri brother ghosts come out, who Judge put to death recently.
Mm-hmm. And he can tell it's them somehow.
It's the way their ghosts are shaped.
Yeah, they are caricatures for sure.
Yeah. they were part of the blind bags that I talked about in the last one. The Scoleri brothers. The judge asks for help and dismisses the case and the charges. The Ghostbusters fire up the proton packs in the court.
They were there for evidence.
Ray
Egon!
Successfully trapped the Scolaris, and the Ghostbusters started again getting calls all over town. Janine's back as the receptionist.
I wonder what she was doing these last 5 years. How was she filling her
She was
time?
just ready to go.
Yeah, I'll take that job back.
Lewis and Janine started starring in... Oh, this is the one with the commercials. I guess they had it in the last one,
They had another commercial
but
too, yeah.
Lewis and Janine started starring in Ghostbusters commercials.
Yeah, they're like playing a couple. They're like, honey, what was that noise?
Call? So you gotta call someone. I'll call tomorrow. No, you call it right now. So they are back in the firehouse as the Ghostbuster headquarters. Slimer is also back.
He's like their pet now, hanging out, and Lois finds him eating in the fridge.
Yeah, he's just like, all this food's just falling right through him. So again, that was Belushi.
The ghost of John Belushi.
Egon is experimenting on slime. Yelling and aggression causes it to react. Mood slime, Venkman said. Slime gets stronger with aggression and responds to music and loves Jackie Wilson. Egon revealed to do everything with slime.
Like everything?
And he just looks down.
Yeah.
That was the smirk.
They're teaching it to love.
Venkman's show. Well, first of all, that was one of the smiles. I think.
Was it?
I think so.
It
Where
might
he was
have
just
been
like,
where Egon finally had a little.
Because if you watched our last video, if you haven't, go back because we got fun facts.
There are lots of fun facts in there
that pertain to both movies. So Venkman's show Venkman's show is one of the museum security's 2 favorites. And he said, oh yeah, what's your other one? Bassmasters. It's a fishing show. Really? You don't say. Peter sees Dana at work and mocks Vigo painting, which Dana feels is watching her at work. That night, Dana gives Oscar his bath, but water turns to pink slime and tries to grab Oscar. Dana runs and just abandons the apartment.
Runs to Venkman.
Yeah. Dana and Oscar arrive at Venkman's apartment and alerts Ray and Egon to what happened. And Egon reveals that the evil history of Vigo the Carpathian, which he feels is related to the slime somehow. Oscar and Dana will stay with Venkman until everything else is figured out. And the next day, the Ghostbusters go to the museum to see the painting, who lived over 105 years old and was then tortured to death. He's an evil and destructive sorcerer. His last words were, "Death is but a door, time is but a window, I'll be back." The Ghostbuster enter the museum, and he's like, they're like all dressed up, and Venkman, they just walk in. Venkman's like, "Suck in your guts, boys. We're the Ghostbusters." Yeah. They're all just like...
They were taking lots of photographs of this painting for evidence or whatever, to study.
Yanish tries to stop them. The whole room is showing high paranormal energy, and Ray is hypnotized by the painting. Venkman's taking all these pictures, and he's like,
"Oh, work it,
yes." He's like,
angrier.
"I've worked with better, but not many. Thank you." Dana cleaned Venkman's apartment, and Peter got a babysitter, Janine, to take Dana out that night. Well, I don't know if I want to leave Oscar with some strange person. Strange person? Janine Melnitz from my staff.
And then she's like, "Oh, okay." So
does she have
must,
babysitting experience? Yeah, sure. Janine invites Lewis to babysit with her that night.
Gets up the courage to ask her out. And she's like, "Oh, I can't. I'm babysitting. You want to come babysit with me?"
At Dr. Venkman's apartment. And he's like, "Yeah, sure. I'll get the address from his tax return."
W-2.
W-2. Okay, so the photos reveal a living presence is in the Vigo painting, along with the river of slime that's also hidden in the painting.
In the pictures they took, a slime river appears.
Yes.
So they're connected.
Yes.
We now know.
The photos spontaneously combust with Ray and Egon locked inside.
Yeah, lock them in.
And it starts a fire while they're in there. But luckily, Winston saves them, and all three go to get Venkman and to get another look and more testing of the slime river, but Dana and Venkman go out instead. So they're like intercepting them as they're going out. I'm like, honey, the guys want me to go down.
Do you want to blow off our dinner and go with them?
And she just turns around.
She just hails a cab. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. The other three Ghostbusters are walking in the abandoned train tunnel to locate the slime river and hear a voice that says, Winston. Yeah, because Winston's the one that's most scared of this. Because he's still like the layperson. Like everybody else is
he just needed a job.
And they're surrounded by heads on spikes, which soon disappear.
It was horrifying.
Was a scary scene. I did not remember
I
that.
didn't either.
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
It was horrifying. And it was all practical effects. Like, I love that stuff. But it was like you're in a haunted house somewhere.
And then they just disappeared.
Yep, they soon disappeared. The train lines were abandoned for 50 years, but a ghost train comes through and goes straight through Winston. He's just standing there. Everybody else is like, run!
Ray runs up, like, or was it Egon? But one of them, they asked, like, did you catch the number on the train?
Yes, Ray.
Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah. I think it was Ray. Did you catch the number? Or it might have been Egon. You're right. I'm not sure which. And goes straight through Winston. Ray finds the hole to the slime river, and Winston is pulled into the slime river with the others. The others jump in behind him. Yeah, because he gets yanked in.
Yeah. It is Egon who asked him that because Ray is off looking for that little tunnel.
Oh, you're right. Did you catch the number? Sorry, I didn't. Louis and Janine are babysitting, and Dana and Peter are at dinner. The Ghostbusters emerge from the slime sewer, and all are yelling and blaming each other and just screaming nasty things at each other due to being covered in the slime. The slime is pure evil and all flowing to the museum.
Yes, so it's making
everybody more aggressive.
Hostile, yeah.
Yeah. The Ghostbusters go to the nice restaurant to tell Venkman about the slime river.
In their long underwear, because they've stripped off the suits that
they
had
realized
the slime on it.
Was it Ray or Egon? One of them realized it was the slime.
It was Egon. Yeah.
And so they're kicked out of the restaurant because they're just getting slime all over the place.
Yeah,
even though
and they're yelling, like they're so animated, like, this, you won't believe what we figured out.
They're so excited. So they go to the Gracie Mansion to see the mayor when they're escorted out by police. Bobby Brown Ghostbuster song plays with Bobby Brown cameo.
Yes.
He's the doorman.
There's also a lot of original songs in this. Yeah. Maybe a few too many, I thought.
Really? I like the Bobby Brown one.
But I feel like there was a lot of songs. I was like, there's another song now? Like, it just seemed like there was a lot. Like, there seemed like 3 different ones.
I like the Bobby Brown song almost like just as much as the Ray Parker Jr. one.
It was more just like, it was like, oh, there's more.
There's more. But he's like, Bobby Brown makes a cameo as the doorman. He's like, hey, you guys got any of those proton packs for my kid brother? Proton packs are dangerous tools.
They're not toys.
They're not toys, yeah. Dana comes home, catches Louis and Janine making out on the couch. And the mayor is not interested in what the Ghostbusters have to say, and almost 50% of them voted for him in the
almost 50%.
Almost 50% of us voted for you in the last election. The mayor says, what's he going to do? Say, be nice to each other to a bunch of New Yorkers? Being miserable is every New Yorker's God-given right. The mayor's henchman throws the Ghostbusters into a mental hospital with Brian Doyle Murray cameo as the doctor.
Yes.
So, Bill Murray's brother. Yanish is instructed to get Dana and the baby, and Vigo will embody the baby, and Yanish can have Dana.
Mm-hmm. They make a deal. Yeah. They strike a deal.
He can have the mother if they get the baby to take over. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I almost said Zool.
Zool.
What's his name?
Vigo.
Vigo
the Carpathian.
So Vigo needs
the scourge of Maldonia.
Yeah. He needs a host body, basically. And he wants this little baby.
Because he'll live the longest in a baby.
Being young.
Well, plus that's probably what he can take over.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, okay. So Janusz,
whoever he is.
Ghost spirit, because it's not even him.
Yeah.
They go to get/steal Oscar, who is on a windowsill, like on this skyscraper, and is at the apartment, and is taken to the museum. Like the baby's just out there, like
standing.
Yeah, 8 months old.
Just.
And Janusz comes by as like a ghost nanny.
Yes.
Like what was
I
that?
don't think I ever realized it was him.
I know.
Until I rewatched it, I was like, oh, it was him.
Yeah,
Why is he in this outfit?
I know, it was scary. That's the scariest part of this movie. Yeah, and takes them to the museum. The Ghostbusters tell the doctors the truth, but it sounds insane. And Venkman tries to distance from the others to get out. He was like, these guys are nuts. I was just thrown in with these guys. I don't like. So Dana enters the museum as the whole building is covered in slime. And Oscar is held in a force field by the painting. Eugene Levy / Andrea Martin movie Cannibal Girls is playing at the theater. About they show people coming out of. Yeah. So I thought that was a nod.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was.
Slime is getting everywhere now in the city, with evil spirits showing up all over. People like this lady's like mink coat.
Like she steps in the slime, and then like the mink
she's
coat,
coming out of the opera house.
Yeah, like comes to life and starts attacking her. She throws it at it, like runs.
Yeah, that was the fun part. And the Titanic arrives at the dock with a cameo by Cheech Marin.
Yes.
As the dockmaster.
Yeah, they like call the police and they're like, up here, 34.
The dockmaster's on the phone. Yeah.
That was the pier it was supposed to arrive to in New York.
And that's what Cheech goes, better late than never.
Yeah, so they used accurate information. That's where
awesome.
It was originally supposed to dock.
The mayor panics and finds out the Ghostbusters are in a mental hospital and gets them out.
And fires that henchman.
Yeah, and there's an unspoken Ben Stein cameo.
Yes! He just shows
up in the background.
And he says something briefly, like, while other people are talking at the same time.
Yeah, like he doesn't have any lines. Like the Bobby Brown song is back again as the Ghostbusters take action. Janusz tries to talk Dana into the arrangement. And so, yeah, you can be the mother of a god. Like,
yeah, and he'll be the father, because they'll be...
Ghostbusters try to find a way to mobilize goodwill in the city. So they're trying to find a symbol, something to unite everybody. So they go to the Statue of Liberty and rig it up with speakers and slime as a symbol to get positively charged. Oh, they got slime that was positively charged, activated, blasting Jackie Wilson. And the statue walks to museum with the Ghostbusters inside.
They're like riding in her.
Just then revealed to be the New York City or New Year's Eve. Yeah, that's the first time they mention this is New Year's Eve. Like the whole movie. So like Well,
I mean, you can. It's the holidays. Like there's decorations
there's hints,
around,
but nobody says it. Yeah. And the dockmasters are again in shock as the Titanic is shown to be unloading passengers. Lewis suits up in a Ghostbusters jumpsuit as the statue is given a police escort to the museum. And then they were talking about how like this can be really hard on her feet. You know, she's not meant to be walking around, and he just has to say, she's tough. She's a harbor chick. You know? So Lewis catches the bus and Slimer is driving. Dana and Janusz witness Vigo taking over Oscar with 4 minutes to go before midnight. The statue busts through the roof of the museum to save Oscar and defeat Vigo.
It's like right as he's about to like completely overtake this baby. Snaps it out.
Well, right, because it's right before midnight. I guess at midnight.
At midnight it would have
taken effect. Yeah. They shoot Janusz with the positively charged slime. So they save Oscar, and they're like, oh, is that gonna hurt him? Nope, he'll wake up feeling like $1 million. And I remember our parents and our friends' parents used to say that all the time. You feel like $1 million. Feels like $1 million. Yeah. Vigo is out of the painting, and all Ghostbusters are zapped like they go back. He goes back to the baby as the Ghostbusters can't get.
Yeah, they can't move. They're
can't
like, can
move.
you
Yeah.
guys lift
They
your
can't get up.
legs?
Yeah.
No.
The Venkman distracts Vigo, and the Ghostbusters get zapped again, and people are singing outside and getting along, which is toxic to Vigo.
Mhm.
They're singing like "Auld Lang Syne" or something like that. Wasn't it?
Yeah, I think because it's midnight, so
Yeah.
they're saying they're celebrating the New Year.
Okay.
That's like the only time there is goodwill in
New York.
In New York.
Lewis arrives, and the Ghostbusters can move and distract. Oscar is dropped by Vigo, who is now back in the painting but has possessed Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bankman caught the baby, by the way.
Yes, sorry.
He's all right.
Yep. And he was hit with proton packs and positive slime. And Lewis shoots from the outside and thinks that he helped.
Yes,
he's
I
like
love
shooting
it.
outside the building because he can't get it because it's the slime force field.
Yeah. And then everybody's like, "Look what you did, man!"
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm a Ghostbuster."
Ray, and he was like, "I was born to wear this suit." Ray and Janosch are back to normal with a love fest. Like, I love you, man. Like,
I love you so much.
They're just both smiling and giggling. Yeah. Due to the slime, there's a new painting that appeared, the Ghostbusters with Oscar in a Renaissance setting, which I actually printed that out and it's an 8x10 for our baby's nursery.
I love it.
And Venkman believes it was one of the fettuccinis who they're trying to like get like, oh, look at that painting.
Look
like,
at that.
Who painted that? Well, one of the fettuccinis. All exit the museum to Ghostbusters Ray Parker Jr. theme that turns into the Bobby Brown theme as the credits roll, with bonus shots of the cast, even Slimer given credit, and all thanked with celebration by the Statue of Liberty, an Ivan Reitman film.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I love it.
I do
It's
too.
so funny.
I know. Are there any fun facts? Like, I know we kind of went over a bunch of them in the first one.
I think as we went, we kind of filled it in. I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember if there was anything. I know that Bill Murray wasn't entirely happy with how it came out. Like,
I could see that.
I guess, like, what the script turned into wasn't what they were presented to sign back on.
Oh,
so it was
probably
like,
because they made it more geared to kids.
I think so.
Afterwards,
Yeah,
you know what
I think
mean?
they like changed the storyline quite a bit from how they
I could
got
see
the
that.
actors to sign on. So he was not thrilled. Exactly.
Yeah, and plus, like, I know that they tend to like steer clear of sequels to begin with.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that was part of it.
Yeah.
Like, it was probably a miracle they got him to do a sequel, and then they changed it.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I could see that.
But I think it was lovely.
I love that movie. Yeah.
It's so funny. There's so many good
There's
lines.
so many, and even with it being a sequel, like, it stands on its own.
Oh yeah, you could just watch that.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, you wouldn't understand the backstory
Right.
of it, but it would still make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I don't. My thing. Why is Dana the one that's always involved in these things? It must be her. Something's with her.
It's got to be her, because the first one was her apartment, so maybe something like latched onto her from there. That's the only thing I can think, because the second one, she's in the museum.
Yeah, it's following her.
Maybe it's not following her. Maybe she's drawn to things unconsciously.
That's why she took this odd job rather than just continuing to play her instrument.
And as an orchestra, what was she, like a cello player or something? Or
yeah, I think it was the cello.
And now I'm going to restore paintings in a museum.
Oh, yeah. He picks it up and starts showing Guitar Bankman. That whole like baby exam scene was funny.
Yeah, it was. Like, they were like, you get the stool sample.
Yeah. Well, also I noticed when they did like they're talking to the recorder, like taking his measurements. He was like 8 pounds. Something. I was
He's
like
supposed to be 8 months old.
8 months old and 8 pounds.
And it was twins who played the baby.
Yes.
Yeah. I was looking at I was trying to see like who else was in stuff, because obviously I don't think we mentioned the first one. Sigourney Weaver is Dana Barrett, so she's in. We didn't even go through because we just assumed everybody knew.
Old news.
Yeah. So so she's been in a ton of things, and like but like I looked up and I didn't see anything that I recognized like Janosch from. So.
No. I don't.
But I feel like he looks familiar. Like, but maybe it's just from this.
Yeah.
I didn't care for him as a child. He creeped me out. I remember as a child.
He's a creep character. Yeah. That's a good thing. That's good instincts there.
So I never really liked him as we age. Yeah.
Squirrely. Yeah.
He's squirrely.
But I still love Lewis. I think he was
too.
even better in this movie.
Oh my gosh, he was great in this. Did he like come up with his speech himself? Do we know?
I have no idea.
His lawyer speech.
Probably.
I know Shelley had the fact that he did, like, he completely ad-libbed his
one scene.
apartment scene.
In the first one. Yeah, I would assume so.
I
I feel like there was probably still a lot of like ad-libbing going on.
I'm sure.
There, especially with Bill Murray.
Bill Murray
like,
does that all the time. Yeah, I don't see how that wouldn't have anything in it.
Yeah.
I think Harold Ramis does that a good bit too.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. But we thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Did you like this movie? Do you remember Ghostbusters 2?
When you were a kid, or from whatever your young adulthood or whatever, we don't discriminate.
No.
All ages are welcome here at Sisters in Ebert. But we thank you, and we'll have another spooky favorite for you next week during our spooky season here. Down below in our description is our links to our social media. Please like, follow, and subscribe. We are at Sisters in Ebert on Facebook and Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. And we'd love to hear from you. Please, engage with us. Let us know what your thoughts are.
We love to chat, so let us know what you think.
And we appreciate all the support. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next Monday at the movies.